Welcome to our architecture deep dive. Today, we will unpack the foundational mechanics of Angular. We'll explore how single-page applications fundamentally change content delivery, how the CLI orchestrates our workspace, and how modules and components structure enterprise-scale code bases. Let's begin. Let's start with the single-page application paradigm. We are no longer requesting full HTML pages from a backend server upon every interaction. Instead, we load a single HTML document up front. The real power here lies in intercepting standard browser navigation to fetch raw data and update the document object model dynamically without a jarring full-page refresh. This brings us to client-side rendering. We shift the rendering responsibility entirely to the user's browser. The server simply provides raw data via JSON APIs, and Webpack automatically injects the compiled JavaScript bundles into our host page to construct visual elements locally in memory. Directly selecting and altering DOM elements using vanilla JavaScript leads to fragile, tightly coupled code. Angular solves this by completely abstracting DOM interactions. When the application state changes, its sophisticated internal change detection evaluates properties and safely updates the tree structure efficiently without manual queries. Because we avoid hard reloads, our JavaScript execution environment remains continuously active. This allows for state preservation. We can utilize centralized singleton services that persist in memory across the entire lifecycle, sharing data securely across independent visual components. To manage this complexity securely, we rely on the Angular CLI. Manually configuring a modern TypeScript project with Webpack, linters, and testing environments is tedious. The CLI automates project initialization and enforces absolute adherence to official structural guidelines from day one. When you executing new, it doesn't just create boilerplate files. It invokes the Node Package Manager to link third-party libraries, scaffolds testing frameworks, and generates the foundational root module. Always initialize with strict mode to aggressively enforce robust typing early on. For local testing, ingserve leverages Webpack to compile the TypeScript source code directly into memory rather than writing physical files. This built-in development server automates background compilation for instant, reliable testing. Coupled with the development server is the live reload feature. Webpack uses a fast hot module replacement mechanism to reliably detect file system changes. It pushes a secure signal via WebSockets to the browser, instantly applying updated JavaScript bundles without losing your current application state. When scaffolding new features, ingEnerate does much more than create a class. It processes internal schematics and intelligently updates the nearest module's declarations array to explicitly register the new code block within the active compilation context. Let's move to the macro architecture. Angular modules, or ing modules, serve as highly cohesive logical containers. A module is a TypeScript class decorated with metadata that explicitly dictates the compilation context, controlling exactly which internal elements are accessible to other parts of the app. Every application requires a primary entry point, the root module, typically called app module. It brings together core browser integrations and contains a critical bootstrap array, which precisely instructs the framework which top-level component should be mounted first. During bootstrapping, the main.ts file kickstarts the Angular compiler in the browser. The framework reads the bootstrap array, instantiates your top-level shell component, and dynamically replaces the matching custom placeholder tag securely inside the global HTML document. As your application scales rapidly, a monolithic root module causes organizational chaos. Feature modules establish an isolated, secure compilation context for specific business domains. They meticulously control their public API, successfully hiding internal implementation details from the wider application. Feature modules unlock the power of lazy loading. The router cleanly intercepts navigation requests and evaluates the module's load children property. Webpack then dynamically downloads the respective JavaScript chunk over the network only when explicitly navigated to, drastically reducing initial bundle sizes. For persistent data management, we utilize singleton services. When provided at the root level, the dependency injection container reliably creates the object solely upon its first request. It caches this active instance and safely delivers it sequentially to all components, guaranteeing absolute data consistency. Finally, let's zoom in on components. These are the fundamental building blocks that control specific screen real estate. They strictly encapsulate markup, styling rules, and behavior into one cohesive unit. Design your visual elements to execute exactly one task perfectly to maximize reusability. The brain of the component is its TypeScript logic. It securely holds local state while executing methods tightly bound to DOM events. Keep these methods focused purely on UI presentation logic and confidently delegate complex data processing directly to injected background services. Synchronization between the internal data model and the visible interface happens automatically through data binding. The framework utilizes a sophisticated change detection engine that continuously monitors properties, instantly reflecting modifications on the screen without explicit update commands. The presentation layer is defined by HTML templates. The intelligent Angular compiler parses these blueprints into efficient JavaScript instructions. Keep your markup highly readable by actively extracting complex Boolean conditions directly into descriptive getter properties within a logic class. To prevent global CSS naming collisions, Angular employs view encapsulation. It natively emulates shadow DOM behavior by actively attaching unique custom attributes to the HTML markup during compilation. It then intelligently rewrites your CSS selectors to strictly target only those identified elements, guaranteeing perfect style isolation. By mastering this setup from the SBA paradigm and the CLI's compilation magic to the strict encapsulation of modules and components, you lay the groundwork for highly scalable, enterprise-grade web applications. Keep your components small, trust the dependency injection, and let the framework handle the DOM. Thank you for your attention.